look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero from Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now.
Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Penagaris, Chrissy Penagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide. Oh, as the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Joy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapawano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that seals up my Atletico promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello, welcome to One Game at a Time for Wednesday, the 6th of May. I'm Seb O'Neill, as always, joined by my regular co-hosts. My question for this week, Mark Talbot, say you get a new house. Are you a carpet, a tile, or a hardwood floor man when you're barefoot in your house?
Depends on the room, but it would be carpet. It'd be carpet in the bedrooms. It'd be hard tile. Tiles in the bathrooms and floorboards throughout the house.
Got there in the end, Mark. Your internet a little bit choppy. Alessio, for you?
I do like carpet, but I know it's very hard to clean. We have wood floorboards throughout our whole house here. It's not too bad. I just wear fluffy socks and tuck them into your trackies when you're at home, and that's what I'm happy with.
We ask the real questions on this show. Of course, you may notice David is not here tonight. He's a little bit unwell, so he will not be joining us, unfortunately. So we do wish him the best. He's fine. He's just a little bit sick. So just the three of us. But with that, we'll go on to our picks of the week. I will start. We got the news the day after our episode, which we always love to have when we have to wait a week to talk about things. More expansion in State League 2, Para Hills East and Sturt Marion Thunder will be joining the league in 2027. And I'll read excerpts of the Football SA statement. Football SA can confirm the inclusion of Para Hills East Soccer Club and Sturt Marion Thunder Soccer Club in the HPG Home State League 2 competition from the commencement of the 2027 season. Football SA received very comprehensive documentation supporting the applications from both clubs seeking to join the North-South Conference system. With Para Hills East SC and Sturt Marion Thunder SC now confirmed, 2 positions remain available to complete the conference system. Expression of interest from clubs seeking to enter the HPG Home State League 2 competition in 2027 must be received by the 30th of June 2026. So I suppose sort of a few things to go through. Number one is the clubs themselves, Para Hills East and Sturt Marion Thunder, adding to the league. I guess sort of first things first, what do we think they'll bring, Mark, for you?
Well, from a Para Hills East point of view, I think that's a good move for the club themselves. They've been pushing the top of Sunday Division 1 for a few years now. And when I say a few, it's been a number of years now, to be fair. They've always been there or thereabouts in that Sunday Division 1. They did have a spell where they dropped out, but I think they'll be bringing a very competitive side as well. Much like the Downs, a team that's pushing in that Sunday State League. And in the past, the Sunday Amateur League. The Sunday Amateur League has always been probably a little bit tougher than the Saturdays in the past. So I think that's a great move for Para Hills East. And effectively, we could now have just a Para Hills derby in the federations. There could be that many of them soon. I know that there's another Para Hills West possibly that might look to join as well. So we could have an East, West and a Para Hills derby. That would be fantastic. From a Sturt Marion Thunder point of view, I know nothing about Sturt Marion. I know a few boys that actually play there or have played there in the past, and I've known a couple of the coaches. Again, it's another southern club, which is a good thing. It means that that dividing line is not going to get pushed further north than Jeps Cross at this stage. Because at one stage, if we get any more north teams, I think it might just be a north and a north-south. However, it does mean that we're going to get another team that wears orange. So Sturt are going to have to maybe look at getting an away strip now as well. Because I don't think anyone's ever really clashed with them. Even the Reds are not similar. But anyway, but no, I think it's great. And I think again, 2 more teams would bring that, to 12 in each league as well. So there'd be 12 across all leagues, which I think is probably the way to go. To start with, and I think we just needs to continue getting more expansion teams and then looking at increasing NPL and State League 1 to more teams as well, which means more games, which means more development.
Absolutely. Alessio, to you, just on the sort of response we sort of spoke about during the week between us, I think you saw the comments of sort of what people were saying about this expansion with these 2 teams, not about the teams in particular, but more so the expansion itself. We saw people even suggesting new ways of restructuring the leagues. I guess sort of onto the question I asked Mars, but a bit about that as well on your point.
Yeah, just as you said, I mean, we saw it throughout the comments, people saying different structures to the league, how they should make it work. Maybe should they have a link between these amateur sides and into the Premier League or into the Federation, sorry. I think that would be hard with facility issues, etc. But I think obviously once they do get their aimed 12 and 12, I think they should look at what is the future for this. Because I think as you see around the leagues, around the state even, interstate, you could tell larger leagues, bigger games played throughout the year, and keeping it even throughout the 3. I know we want to make each league harder to get into and harder to stay in as well. Or no, not that way, harder to stay in, but you want people to aim to get into it. But I think the only way you can do that is by maybe increasing each of them and having, like 3 up and 3 down in pretty much each league. So,
and then
but I think it's a good thing to see. I mean, Sturt Marion Thunder, as Mark was saying, they are the original team of Orange Sturt or Sturt Marion from the very old day. I think they were formed in 1906, a very, very old club here. And they are finally into the Federation after having the senior pathway to Sturt Lions original juniors into the amateur leagues. Now they have their own Federation link from their juniors as well, which is going to be a good thing for them to see. And I'm excited for more orange teams in the league, Mark. Orange is my favourite colour, so I want to see some more orange kits. Hopefully they can make them a little bit different to Sturts. Maybe we can see some stripes like 70s Netherlands. But yeah,
they had that blue and white on it, so there's a change already. And they wear blue shorts.
I suppose the next point to bring on that is that another thing I saw, especially in the comments, was people sort of talking about, are the finals going to change now? Because obviously we will get to 12 teams in each next year. And it almost, absolutely, in my opinion, it does seem unfair if you've got a 12-team league and the 2 teams that finish first, one of them might not go up. I feel like that has to be the natural progression of how this goes.
Not even just that. I think only being top 4 in a 12-team league would be pretty tough.
Yeah.
So maybe they expand it there on that kind of regard, and maybe they stop that championship game. And as we said, once they have 12 and 12, it's the first team goes up, and it's 2 to 6 in the rest of the league, both of them to find that next playoff.
That sounds too easy. I think it needs to be a lot more convoluted. Like it needs to be a 1 to 6. They all play off against each other, and then they've got to replay each other and add about 15 games and make it really difficult to then get promoted, just to make it fair.
Maybe David's not on, but we've got to do the Scottish form of things. Play it everyone once, and then halve the leagues.
Or the split.
Or you could do the Dutch version.
North and South Central or something, like the ones that have all won the first 6 games.
Or you could do the Dutch second division version where the season gets split into 4 quarters, and then you can win a quarter, and then you can go into the promotion playoff regardless of how you go in the other 3 quarters of that league. But no, look, I think it's great that they're looking to go bigger. But as you said before, Alessio, about 3 up, 3 down, I think they need to I think that we could look at doing that, but having that playoff game. going like they do in the WSL and the WNPL, that playoff game between the second bottom and the second in the lower league, is okay, you plan off for a promotion spot or something like that, just to make it really sort of stick out, make it a real important game and do it that way.
Are you saying, say in that hypothetical situation, you're saying, because I feel like if you're doing it with the way it is now, it would have to be eventually 3 up, 3 down, because I think other than that, it's unfair. So then you're saying that first of North, first of South go up no matter what, but then the finals teams, whoever wins that final series, they still aren't guaranteed and they still have to play that playoff, is what you're saying.
You could do it that way, or you could do it just as a playoffs, not a playoff spot, but you could do it that way. But you have to have a playoff somewhere. Like you could have like they do in the championship, it's you 2 versus 2 down to 6 or whatever it is. But that needs to be that final crescendo game. And the guys that actually win the league in those lower leagues, in the state league too, they win the league. It's like, you guys are champions. We're done. In the finals is just purely about promotion. And I think that will add to that league immensely. I think a lot more people get behind that because they know, cool, we're playing for first, but we still got that chance of playing for promotion.
Absolutely. Alessio, anything else to finish off on that topic?
No, I think it's good to see. I'm excited for some new grounds as well. Even during my game on the weekend, the referee was asking about, we're going to see more grass pitches now that all these amateur teams are coming in. So if it gets wet, I'm not going to be in a good mood. But I think it's cool to see. I saw some of the grounds that they both play at on the Sassel Facebook as well. So I'm excited to see them.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll have 2 more confirmed probably in the next 3 or 4 months, which will then complete the State League 2. And then from then on, I guess we'll find out what happens with the finals and promotion, etc. from then on. So very exciting times. Mark, you next.
Yes, it was. Sorry, I forgot what I was going to talk about. My pick of the week this week is obviously last weekend we had the memorial game for Seamus Legends Day or Past Players Day. This week we've got 2 more. So this is
that
awesome.
Time of the year.
It is, and you know what? It's better doing it now than it is at the start of the season when it's hot. The old boys don't want to run in the hot weather. So at least when it's this kind of weather, they're happy to run. But there's one this weekend between Croydon and FK Beergrad. I'll be at that game actually commentating the main game. So if I get a chance, I'll pop down a bit earlier and actually watch some of the old boys run around. And the other one is a Seaford versus Norlunga, or should I say Norlunga versus Seaford at the Pound Past Players game as well. So if you've got nothing to do, that one's on Friday night. If you've got nothing to do, by all means, get out there, watch some of the old boys, the past players, the past legends of those clubs running around and showing what they've still got. It's one, it's a bit of a laugh, and 2, it's good fun to see those guys trying to do some stuff again. That's for sure. So that's my pick of the week. So yes, get out there and go and watch.
It was certainly good fun seeing you on the weekend running for a start.
Yeah.
I guess expand on just very quickly sort of on the game. You play with some very, very good players, very well-known players. You were centre-back partners with Daniel Mullen.
Yes, I was a centre-back pair. Actually, we played 3 at the back, and I was probably the weakest link out the 3 of us. I can guarantee I was the weakest link. I had Dan Mullen on one side, and I was like, this is incredible because this is, I think, probably the first time I've ever played with an Australian international. And so I also had the likes of Joe Mullen playing up front. And then I had on my other side of me was Dave Burton, who was a legend at Para Hills, played for a long time at Salisbury as well. Great player. So I had either those 2 each side of me who, to be honest, looked like they both still play. And then I was that real weak link in the middle, just trying to catch my breath. So, but no, it was great fun. Awesome day. Great charity for Better Blokes project. But yeah, it was an absolute honour to share the pitch with some of those boys. Like I said, to be able to say I've played alongside Dan Mullen, and like I said, I had Benny Dale there. We had who else? We had Shane Tobias, who was part of that team. I think he was part of the team that beat the first ever NPL side to beat a A-League side when they beat Western Sydney. Yeah, many years ago now. So he was part of that team. So yeah, it was just fantastic.
No, absolutely was a
Daniel
good
Mullen
day as
was
well.
actually in the Western Sydney Wanderers team in that game too.
Yeah,
Oh, there
true.
you go. Yes, I knew you'd have the stat on that, Alessio. Knew you'd have the stat on that.
But definitely a good weekend, and do go
So, yes.
out to those ones too.
Yeah, definitely get out there and watch the old boys play, because some of them have still got it, that's for sure. They're just a little bit
Alessio.
slower.
Finally to you, Alessio.
Yeah, I've got a couple that intrigued me on the goals wraps, and a couple other around the grounds too. The first one I'll go to is at Playford, where you both were playing and commentating, and it's some inflatable beer cans there at Ramsey Park. I thought it was very cool to see. I mean, we've seen it in the A-League with Central Coast Mariners at their stadium, and I know Playford have a big connection with the local pub that's around there.
Anglevale Tavern.
Yeah,
correct.
Their major sponsor. Yep.
Yeah, so they've got specific beers. Obviously, they're promoting, and I think their ground is just getting better and better. I know a lot of people don't look forward to playing there, but I think the atmosphere is great, and the surrounds are getting better and better every time I see it there. That was my first one. My next one was at Adelaide Atletico's ground, where they played against Mulberry Jets, and in one of their goals, I noticed their number 10 here. It took the free kick, had a pair of different boots on each foot. This player here, where you see him when he stands up. That was great camera work as well, I thought, there to zoom in on him as well. Very emotional moment, but I thought it was very cool. He's definitely a player I watched in preseason as well. He's a very talented winger, but I thought that was quite interesting. The next one was Anthony Quichi, his acrobatic goal for Cobras on the weekend. You don't see centre backs doing this very often. Free kick came in, and he just, flung something at it, put his body horizontal to get something on the end of that. I thought that was very cool to see from a defender. And then the final one, a bit selfish, I know, but I scored in the Hills Derby on the weekend, and I was pretty excited about that. Even if it wasn't in the first grade, it's still a very proud moment for myself, and especially in a very successful team that we're having at the moment. I'm happy to contribute to that, and to do it on a big occasion like this was pretty cool as well. Got a bit of heckling as well, and I pointed to the badge after I celebrated, but I'd like to say to them as well, at least they've got a whole season to celebrate, not just one game. So
I will also add as well, because you didn't say it either. You got your cup game as well this coming week against Adelaide United, reserves.
Not this week, next week, or 2 weeks.
No, this week.
Maybe?
This coming Tuesday.
Isn't it?
Well,
Is it?
Tuesday was yesterday, but
Well, this coming Tuesday. It's the 12th, isn't it? I'm fairly sure.
no, it's the 19th.
My apologies. I got the cup games confused. Which weeks?
That was one of the options, was to have it on that day, but I think
That might have been it,
we
yeah.
had the option of what day to host it, and I think there was actually a couple of people away on that day, so we chose the next week. But yeah, it was confirmed after reserves cup game that was played last night, Olympic and Adelaide United. So officially, Adelaide United youth team reserves will be playing against Mount Barker United at the Summit, which is a sentence you'd never thought you'd say in a competitive game. But either way, I think it's a very proud moment for myself, for the club as well, specifically for them hosting such a big game as well. They've hosted women's NPL finals, they've hosted NPL games there in the past, but for a game of their own, I think this is one of the biggest.
No, absolutely looking forward to seeing the outcome of that one. All right. Next up, right on time as always. And it's coming from down south.
Are you sure it's coming from down south?
It's coming very down south.
Should I be getting this one?
I think so.
Just down the road.
It's quite close. Yeah. He can actually walk to it, really.
Might be your next door neighbours, mate.
I can walk to it. It's only a few minutes. Well, actually, it's a lot longer of a walk these days. I'm a lot slower. But we've got Ollie Grant and Jalen Figueroa from Seaford.
How we doing,
Thank you
boys?
both. Very, very good. Thank you both for coming on. Very much appreciated. As always, we'll start with sort of my first question, to sort of introduce the both of you. Your footballing journey up until now, where you are at Seaford. Ollie, we'll start with you.
Sure. Well, how long have you got? Because there's a few pubs. Started obviously as a youngster. So I was born born in England. Moved here when I was 13, so all my juniors are over in the UK. Up until the age of 14, but I did then play all my juniors at Cumberland. So I actually made my first team debut under Brooksy in the NPL. And then there's been quite a few clubs since. So I want to take up half an hour, but I'll name a few. But after Cumberland, there was Noarlunga for half a season. Then I actually did go to Cove, where I played most of my games at Cove, to be honest. From Cove, I then went to White City for a couple of seasons. White City to Hills, where I spent 3 seasons, had some really good times at Hills. And then from Hills to Fulham. So I had a season at Fulham, and again, that was a good season. And then I had the opportunity to go back to Cove with a few of my really good mates. So that was a hard one to turn down. So I was back at Cove for a couple of years, and then obviously this year back to Seaford. Or not, Perfect. Sorry, not back. First year at Seaford.
Jalen, for you?
Mine's not as convoluted as Ollie's. Mine's much more simple. I started at City in under 6s, Adelaide City, and then all the way up to 18s and a little bit of reserves. And then I moved to Adelaide Victory, which is obviously now Atletico. Moved there to get a bit more senior experience. So went to the first team squad there under Rick Sriracho, and then was there for 3 years. And then I moved to Seaford in 2023. So this is my 3rd year at Seaford this year. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. We'll go on to the game on the weekend. You beat Adelaide Uni 2-0. You're sitting 3rd on the table. I guess sort of a word on that game, Ollie, for you?
Yeah, look, we knew it was going to be a tough game. Adelaide Uni are obviously a good side and away from home. So we were pretty prepared for a battle. And it was a battle, but we actually, I think first half was a really, really good half. I think overall it was just a very professional performance from the whole team. So we were obviously 2-0 up. And to be honest, we probably did dominate the first half. Second half, I think sometimes naturally when you're 2-0 up, it gives you something to defend. We definitely weren't as good in the second half, but I think overall we defended really well. They did have a few chances to get one back here and there, but really happy with the result, and to go away and win 2-0 at a place like Adelaide Uni. I guess you can't complain with that.
Absolutely. I suppose I'll sort of what we spoke about earlier about the expansion of State League 2. It's sort of a question I guess we ask any teams or players we have from State League 2 on. I guess how have you found it playing in a Southern Conference with these teams? I guess Jalen, I'll go to you with this one.
Well, when I first came to Seaford, it was just the one State League 2, so that was kind of pretty straightforward and easy. And then when did it start last year? Was that the first year with the North and South?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then since it's moved to that, I don't like the finals setup personally, even though we didn't make it. Did we make it last year? I can't remember. God, but yeah, I think it's a bit complicated. But obviously, it's good to see like how you match up against teams out of the league and test yourself, and it's good to play against a bunch of old mates and stuff if you've got them in the opposite league. So that's good in that sense. But yeah, personally, I'd rather just one league. But yeah.
Ollie, you?
Yeah, look, I haven't played under the new structure. Obviously, when I did play the 1 year with Cove in the State League 2, but the same as Jalen, that was just the one league. Look, personally, I definitely don't love it. I don't agree with the team winning the league, not getting promoted. To be honest, I think that's ridiculous. Like Modbury Vista, very unlucky last year not to go up after finishing first. Look, I definitely don't love it. Haven't been too involved, but if you don't finish first, it does make it quite difficult to go on and actually get promoted. Look, I would much prefer just the one league. Potentially 3 up, 3 down, or another league completely, which I think is probably what we're going towards.
Mark very happy to hear both of those answers. Before I go on to Alessio and Mark, we do have a few viewer questions which were submitted over the past day. I've got I think I've got 5 for either one of you. Starting for you, Ollie, from Shane Grant. Who's your football team and why? And why are you always the last out of the changing rooms?
Jeez. So my football team is Plymouth Argyle. So I was born down in Devon. So yeah, I would say I'm a pretty diehard Argyle fan. Get up, watch the games where I can. So that's why I used to be a season ticket holder there until I moved here. So that kind of ingrains it into you, to be honest. And why am I last out of the changing rooms? Good question. Probably because I take a little while. I sit on my phone after the game, just looking at the other results. And by the time I've realised that the showers are free, people like Jalen just sneaking in front of me. And I'll give Safe Jassim a shout out. He takes, honestly, half an hour and that goes in there with a shower cap. So it's easy in front of you. It's a long time.
Next one, question for Jalen from Jack Grimmer. What do you do for recovery on a Saturday night after a game?
Grimmer, of course he's asked that. Obviously, depends. If we're playing an early game or night game, I like to have a beer after the game just to relax, calm the nerves a bit. Obviously, after a Powerade, stretching, ice bath and all that. But yeah, maybe have a drink, head to a mate's place, watch the footy or something like that. Just pretty standard. But yeah, Grimmer, I think he should work on his own recovery techniques himself, actually. I know he's picked up an injury recently. So yeah.
Very good and safe answer from you. For Ollie again, from Matt Canny. Is it true Ollie knows Ollie Watkins and was he a better player than him / still thinks he is?
It is true. So yeah, fun fact, I actually did go to school with Ollie Watkins. So I as the boys know, I do like to bring that up every now and then. Pretty different career paths, I would say, but I would probably say I'm a better player.
Another one for Jalen from Lucas Knoll. What's the best goal you have seen in game, and what is your favourite naan bread?
The best goal I've seen, God. It's from juniors. I don't know if this counts really, but it was he's a brother of Alessio's teammate Scott. You know Scott Howie, Alessio?
Yeah.
Yeah, so his younger brother Dylan, we played in Canberra for this tournament, and he's playing centre back, and he's gone up for the corner last minute. Bear in mind, he's playing the game with a beanie on his head. Run front post, little Drogba Champions League flick on to send us to the Kanga Cup final. So scoring a header with a beanie on is probably the best goal I've seen. And then naan bread, cheesy garlic naan, always. Thanks, Lucas, for asking that. Cheesy garlic naan.
Final one for Ollie from Daniel Pauly. During your time at the Hawks, Ollie was referred to as a specific kitchen appliance. Might be worth asking him what one and why.
Yeah, thanks, Paulie. So I was referred to as the fridge.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of honestly like with all the Hills, obviously I see them a little bit like with all those Hills boys, that's genuinely stuck. And I think, yeah, just because I was a bigger frame and I think the fridges are obviously quite big. That's my understanding anyway. There might be a different one.
Is that the reason? I thought it was something else.
Nah, there's other rumours going around that Scott makes up.
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
That's definitely not the reason. So we'll pick that one. That's fine.
Mark, I'll go to you now.
All right. Now, the first one to Ollie. Now, I'm glad that you've got more clubs than I have, so that's always a good thing. And for me, when I moved clubs, it was never about much. It was always about the coach or how they wanted to utilise me on the park, sort of thing. with yourself, obviously you're an out and out striker. I've only ever known you as an out and out striker. What's the reason behind sort of changing clubs, moving from Hills to Fulham and so forth? Was there a driving force behind it? What was that?
Yeah. Look, I often get this question, and like people will always say like, "Why do you have so many tracksuits or whatever?" But honestly, like the reason, and obviously as a striker, it is a little bit different. It is easier to get noticed, especially when you're scoring goals and playing well. So all of those clubs that I have played for, like I've had a message or the coach has reached out for a chat or a coffee, and then I've obviously then spoken to them. It's not been me going out and I guess seeking other clubs or looking for other clubs, but obviously normally they'll tell you the right things to then get you to sign. And then like there's a variety of different reasons. Like Hills, I probably wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I had mates at Hills, so that was probably slightly different. So I wanted to get back into my football again and playing with my mates, and I definitely did that there. So yeah, a variety of reasons, but I would say the main reason is probably honestly just because I've had messages from coaches to have those chats. So again, and I think that it's not because I'm better than the next person, but as a striker, generally you when you're scoring goals, you're going to get interest from
you're a wanted man when you score goals. Did you find that you scored more goals when you were just enjoying your football more than when you were under pressure and things like that? Or did you? Yeah, was it just a bit more? As you said, you went to the Hills to play with mates. Did you probably perform better? Were you enjoying your football and scoring more goals there, or was it just purely went there because of mates and enjoyment in the end, and it didn't? Did you score as many goals there as you would have thought you would have?
Yeah, like it's a good question, and when I think about it, like I probably had some of my better scoring seasons at the Hills, and it probably does come down, to be honest, to myself enjoying it, not having any pressure. And when you're playing well and scoring goals, you don't even think about that. But it's a hard life being a striker, because as soon as you're not scoring goals, everyone's onto you. Your confidence goes. And to be honest, a little bit how I'm feeling at the moment, because I haven't scored for a few weeks. So it's easy. It's easy when you're scoring and you're confident, but when you're not, and like you said, I think if you're enjoying it, it goes hand in hand. You're scoring goals, you generally are enjoying it. So. But yeah.
All right, Jalen, I'm going to jump across to you. As you said, you moved across to Seaford a few seasons ago. Was the reason behind that move just game time? Was it a coach reaching out again there? And then what have you noticed? Because obviously Seaford have been through a number of changes over probably the last 10 years now, or 9 years. What have you noticed around the club? You've got a new chairman in place, which would have only come in the last couple of years. What have you noticed around the club that's been a positive, and you're sort of going, oh yeah, I can really basically start to look at the long-term goal of even staying at Seaford longer period than your current 3 years?
So I moved over to Seaford because my reserves coach at Victory was Andy Shaw. So he brought me over to Seaford that first year. Unfortunately, we didn't do too well to start, and he got the sack. But then, since I have moved there, Calder's came in, and he really sold me on the project that he wanted to build, like giving young players like myself who haven't had much first team chance, just minutes and game time really. And as far as like the club going through like a transition period, I thought that since Dave's come in, he's done an awesome job. Like, I just love the vibe around the club. Everyone's like, it's such a big family club. I'm sure Ollie can attest to that. Like, everyone's so nice around the place, and it feels like home, honestly, even though I live nearly an hour away, which is frustrating at times. But also, we've had the new pitch relayed, new nets, club room upgrades. Like, it's just, I can't really complain at all. Like, I've loved it since I've moved to Seaford, and could definitely see myself staying there for next few seasons, definitely, yeah.
Well, that leads on to the next question. You just said there, an hour to get there. It obviously does mean something to you to want to have to travel an hour to get to training and things like that. So whereabouts are you based then? Are you obviously near the city somewhere, or even further?
I'm right next to Campbelltown pretty much. So it's a bit of a trek. But yeah, I usually carpool with a few of the lads. So shout out to Marcus McInerney and Charlie Yule. So
Yep.
I know they will be loving that shout out. But yeah, I go to Marcus's house and we usually go together and just take turns driving 3 nights a week. So that makes it kind of easy. But yeah.
And then the last question, I'm going to go back to you, Ollie. How do you feel about being the pantomime villain? I've played against you. I've watched you play in games, and for some reason, you always come up as the pantomime villain. You play the role brilliantly, and you know what I mean. Like, it's one of those things where everyone loves to hate on you, but then as soon as the games are finished, they'll be the first one to go up to you and say, "Dude, what a great game," and things like that. How do you deal with that? How does it feel to be sort of that pantomime villain?
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, I actually enjoy it, to be honest. Like it's all better. But look, just to say, I'll never be the one to start it. So
Oh no, every time I've watched, you've never been to start it.
yeah, someone will normally be obviously get told to do something or to wind me up, and it does probably work. I get a bit of white line fever, I guess, a little bit. But look, the beauty of it is most of the time, or all of the time, really, you'll shake hands after the game with them. And you'll just say, "Look, like, it's all part of the game, and it's all part of the fun." To be honest, so look, I actually quite enjoy that part. I would say I've probably tamed down a little bit in my older years. Yeah, you do learn a few lessons along the way. So yeah, I think I'm definitely a lot tamer than what I would have been back in the day. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you play against Port Pirates many years ago now. I can't even remember who you were playing for at the time, and they were quite happy to rip into you and give you some grief in that. And I think you scored that game, and you were quite happy to go, yeah, there's one for you boys, and that was it. And then they were after the game, it was all handshake and a beer in the club after. So I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, to be honest, it gives you the motivation when you're getting some stick on the crowd. It makes I actually thrive off that. So more of it, please.
Yeah. Well, there you go, teams. If you want to get on Ollie's side to play well, give him some grief.
All from you, Mark.
That's all.
Alessio.
Yeah, I'll start with Jalen. Just want to talk about some of the achievements you had prior to coming to Seaford as well. I know you had a fairly storied career at Adelaide City in the juniors while I was there as well. I know your age group had quite a few that came up as well. Talking through some of the achievements you had there and even at Adelaide Victory in those early years, because I think you might have played in a grand final with their reserves.
Yeah, so I was captain of the Victory Rezzies the year we made the granny. I do feel bad in a way. That win was a bit, I wouldn't want to say cheating, but obviously our first team didn't make finals, and a lot of us younger boys had played enough reserve games, so they dropped a lot of us to play in the Rezzies grand final. I think there was 8 or 9 of us playing in that grand final, so it was kind of like a fringe first team versus reserves grand final, which, I mean, we got the job done, so I'm not complaining when the trophy's around when I'm holding the trophy and I've got the medal, but yeah, that was good. And then in juniors, God, we had a ridiculous team in juniors at City. Like, a lot of those boys have actually stopped playing now, but I know Adam Harvest is still playing at Cobras now, obviously. Ben Footy's at Atletico still. A lot of other boys. Lawrence Galucio's at Fulham. In juniors, we were literally just unstoppable for 6-7 years probably. We won the tournament I was talking about with Howie's header in under 14s. That was an interstate tournament. There was teams from Korea playing in there. We won the whole thing, just some team from Adelaide, really. Won the league most years. And then, we just dominated the league. We're pretty much the Man City of Adelaide City Juniors, pretty much. Just unstoppable for, 6-7 year period. So it was good. Juniors was a great time, to be honest. And then as we started to progress to 18s, people leave, go to different clubs, get minutes and that. But no, ultimately, I love City as a club, and juniors was just awesome, really. So, yeah.
Awesome. And of course, now you're at Seaford, you want to, kind of repeat some of that as well. I know you guys played finals maybe in the first year that you were there in 2023. And you guys were obviously very close to promotion in that year. But what changes do you see from the early team you got to at Seaford compared to now? I mean, there's a lot more experience, I would say, now that have at least been promoted a couple of times or played in the leagues above. But compared to where you came in 2023, what's the differences the team's got at the moment?
Obviously, Andy's recruited well in the past 2 years. Well, this year we've got pretty much half the Cove squad from last year. We've got, 6 players, I think? Who's it? Ollie, Fahad, Safe, Scotty, Brian. So that's, pretty much a lot of the Cove team. And they're all very experienced and quality players, really. I think Andy's just, the way he's just drilled into us how he wants us to play, and we're all buying into it and trusting the process, really. We can see the progression over the past 2-3 years where at the start we couldn't string passes together, and now you know how each other play, and it just like when it clicks, it just clicks. And I feel like this year we've been doing so well, obviously up until that Plimpton bump in the road. But Andy's just really brought us all together, and it's a great bunch of lads. And you want to play together, and when you like each other, you actually do better on the pitch. So I feel like that makes it a lot easier as well. So yeah.
No, good. I'll pass on now to Ollie. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you're a very accomplished state league scorer. I think you reached 100 federation goals either late last year or maybe early. Do you feel like you should have had more of a chance in the NPL? I know you might have played there at FKB or White City at the time, but seeing your stats and obviously your career and being fairly successful individually everywhere you went, do you feel a little bit hard done by that you never got the chance as of yet to showcase that in the top flight here in the SA leagues?
Yeah, look, it probably won't be happening now, Alessio, but yeah, to your point, like it. Yeah, yes and no. Like I've thoroughly enjoyed in my career. So I look back on it, like obviously, there's obviously moments where you're like, well, I feel like I probably could have played NPL at some sort of level. Obviously, I've seen some other players that I would compare myself to that I would say I was similar to, but it's not something I'm disappointed I haven't done. Like obviously, had a good career in State League One, scored quite a few goals. So still very happy with what I have accomplished. If there was the chance or opportunity that came up, there actually was a couple of chances where I could have, but I would have been playing in a team that I thought at the time would potentially struggle, or I could play in a State League One team and with my mates in finals. So there definitely has been a few opportunities. And it's also, for me, a big part of it is travel as well. So the opportunity that came up was in the north. I don't live in the north, so it would have meant a lot of driving. So you make sacrifices, but it's definitely something that I think I potentially could have done in my peak. But look, it is what it is, and like I said, I'm happy with how everything's gone. And don't have any regrets with my career at all.
No, that's good to hear. Similarly for you as well. I've asked this question a couple of times to some of the guests, especially some with very accomplished careers and had so much success in the past. Can you pinpoint a game or maybe a time in your career where it really clicked for you that you were going to be a successful goal scorer, had the form, had the confidence that you knew every game you're going to go into, I'm going to score at some point, or I'm going to get my goals this season because I know I'm at that level now where this is just what I do? Can you pinpoint a time or maybe a game you scored a couple of goals against the top opposition, some kind of point where you knew that I'm really up for this and I'm going to be one of the best players in this league?
Yeah, so I think what happened was when I went from Cumberland, like I said, I was playing NPL at that point and I was only 17. A few things happened that we won't go into details, but essentially I then had an opportunity to go and play for Noarlunga. And at that point I was pretty young, didn't really know too much about first team football, and took that opportunity. And that was under Colin Bolto. So Noarlunga at the time, we had a very, very young team. But I did manage to score quite a few goals. I think it was when there was only 2 divisions. So it was State League One and obviously the NPL. But I scored a few goals, and then I just happened to score a few goals against Cove and play really well in those games. So then that led to Tom Ballantyne, who was the Cove coach at the time, calling me and saying, would you want to come down to Cove? and then we got a really good young team together. And that year, I think I scored 22, 23 goals. And that was at a good level. We had some good teams in that league. So Olympic, I can't think of the others off the top of my head, but there were some good teams. And I think we played Bacala in the cup. We lost 3-2 in extra time. And Bacala had a really good team. They were obviously in the NPL at that point. And I scored 2 in that game. So I think that's probably when it clicked that I was like, yep, I can play at this level. But then other times in my career, like I said before, like as a striker, you go through your ups and downs. Some seasons are better than others. But the other 3 years that probably stood out were the years at Hills. Again, like some years we had better teams than others at the Hills, but as in some years we had, better squad than that the squad's improved. But what I'm trying to say is we didn't always have the best team, but I still managed to score goals in those teams. And I think, I would have and should have probably won the Golden Boot the year I got a red card against Cobras and then got a 4-game suspension. I ended up missing out on the State League 1 Golden Boot by a goal. So that was a bit disappointing. But to your point, I think that's probably the stages in my career where I've probably scored the most goals.
Yeah, that's very cool to hear. The last question, I guess, is for both of you. Open up to the floor as well. The best players you've played with, and maybe even some you played against, and any specific moment in your senior career where you're the most proud of, or the biggest achievement you could say so far. Just open to the both.
You want to go, Ollie, or am I?
You go, mate. You go.
Best player I've played with, probably. God, Woody was great, Liam Wooding, obviously, and he wasn't even at the peak of his powers with us, and you could just see the quality just in training and games. Like, he's just levels ahead. He was just a joke, honestly, Wooding. He was quality. Maybe Giuseppe Bovolina as well, who played at United for a little bit. He went to my school, and I think he's playing in Europe somewhere now. I'm not sure which league, but Giuseppe, and then maybe Dean Jerkovic, who's not playing anymore, but he was very, very good player. I know he was at White City for a little while, and he just had some body problems with his body really and stopped playing. Against probably Mo Toure, Nesta, Ethan Alagic, just a lot of those Federation boys growing up. And my senior moment I'm proud of, probably making my debut against Hills, against Ollie Grant, the fridge. Actually, that's my proudest moment.
Ollie?
And for me, sorry. So best player I've played with.
Ollie Watkins.
Ollie, yeah. Ollie Watkins.
Sorry,
Definitely.
I had to.
Well, I was going to say it, but then I thought, it's a while ago. So I'll pick people that at this level. Honestly, like similar to Jalen, like obviously playing with Woody, like that was an eye opener. Like he still had it, and I only played a few games with him. Obviously, he did retire at the start of the season, but he you could just tell in his day he was going to be levels above. But just players recently that come to mind, Ken Oikawa, I probably pronounced that really badly, but at Cove, the last couple of years, obviously he's not there this year. He was class, like technically unbelievable. So he was, levels above anyone in that team, just technically. And then there was another player, Ryu Sasaki, and he was also Japanese. That was at White City. Similar, like the Japanese players that come over, like technically are incredible. They are just next levels above any of us. And you can kind of see that with their national team, right? They're just very techie players. So those two, Matt Canny did beg me to say him. So Tommy King as well at Seaford, but I just couldn't give those two names. And there's another part of the question, which was most proud moment. Honestly, going back to the Cove, winning the State League 2 with some of my best mates was something I'll look back on very fondly of. Doing that was something yeah, probably my proudest moment, to be honest. I played in a few different final series, but to actually finally win something, albeit state league too, it was still nice to just do that with, like I said, some of my best mates.
Cheers. Well, that's just about all, except I think Seb's got a picture here, and I just wanted to ask Ollie if you remember who this was directed at. If you got it there, Seb.
Yeah, that was the third chairman, Don van der Beeken. Yeah, he was giving me a bit of heat, let's just say. Yeah, look, the scoreline's not great to be doing that. I admit, get a stick from some of the Coke boys after saying you can't be doing that. But look, he was literally yelling abuse up there, and ball comes in and I scored. So I was like, there you go, mate. There's one back. But yeah, I do actually have a question from a viewer for one of you boys.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And the question is for Seb, and it's from David Grant in the Adelaide Hills. David wants to know why I had a few less tattoos in the photo of the podcast on Instagram.
Well, from what I saw, you weren't at media day, so your head had to go on someone else's body. Unfortunately, so that's why. Did you notice?
Do you know what? The boys were saying in the change room, that looks out of proportion. I was like, nah, I looked at the hands. I was like, nah, I've got those fingernails. That's me. And then I realized today, I was like, hang on, I would have a tattoo there normally. So yeah, eventually realized, but initially no. But yeah, fair enough. I did get fined for not going to the media day as well. So
I did a decent enough job then.
Yeah, at least they didn't say, look, you look very trim in the summer there. What happened? But...
yeah, true. I definitely look quite slim in that. So I would take it.
Oh, how good. All right, with David not here, I have to take the reins for him. So it is time for...
Seaford Rangers post-production.
Yes, it's back for 2 weeks in a row, unfortunately. I did have to do this at very quick notice. So I went to what worked well last week. Ollie, Jalen, how well do you know Football Manager?
Yeah, I know it pretty well, I would like to say.
Okay, Jalen?
Honestly, no clue. No clue.
Okay.
This is going to be terrible. Let's give it a shot,
perfect. So what we did with Fiona Wirtz last week, with her against Lesio, but I thought I'd pit the two of you against each other. I'm going to give you a statistic. I'll give you a statistic, and I'll give you a number. So say, for example, what's one I don't have down? Like say first touch, and I say, Ollie, you have 7. And then I will go for the 4 of you. Do you think that Jalen has more, the same, or less? And then whoever gets the more correct wins the quiz. Keep track of your own score because it's going to be too hard for me to do it. Any questions?
Out of 20.
Is that like a rating? So it's out of 20, is it?
Yes.
A rating out of 20, yes. Thank you, Mark, for saying that.
Sweet.
Any other questions?
Yeah, sorry. Is this ratings on us?
Yes.
Yep.
Your ratings in Football Manager as of
In
this
Football
year.
Manager, yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So the first one is pace. And I'm going to give you Jalen. Jalen has a pace of 12. Do you think Ollie has the same, less, or more?
There's only one answer here. There's only one answer.
Yeah, but Jalen, I don't think it's not based on real life. Like this
it
is
is.
just
Yeah, true. Is
Well,
it?
for me,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
okay, well, if it's based on
Apparently.
real life, Jalen is probably 12 times faster, so it should be more.
Okay. Jalen, I'm guessing you agree it's also he has less than you. Mark Alessio?
Yeah.
Less.
I'll go less.
Okay. Jalen has 12. Ollie has 9. So not too much slower,
That's all
but
right.
still fairly decent. Next one, crossing. I'm going to say Jalen's again. You have 7. Does Ollie have less, more, or the same?
Good. Ollie puts in a decent ball actually for a striker. He's actually not bad. I'll go higher. His is higher than mine.
His is higher. Okay. Ollie?
I'd like to think I put in a decent ball, so I'll go higher too.
Alessio?
If they're based it positionally, I don't think Ollie's seen a sideline in many years, but I'm going to say Jalen will have higher and Ollie will have lower.
And Mark?
I'm going to go the same purely because of positional.
Okay. Jalen has 7 crossing. Ollie has 6. So fairly similar,
Bang,
but
here we go.
Jalen
Come
and
on,
Ollie are
come
both
on.
wrong. Next one. Finishing. Ollie,
Oh gosh, here we go.
you have 13 out of 20 finishing. Does Jalen have the same, more or less?
At the moment, probably more. He had a good finish the other day, Jalen. Who was that against?
Oh, that was a worldie against Barker, the volley.
Yeah, very good.
Screamer.
Well, if it's based on history, then I'd maybe say myself. But
Okay. So you're saying Jalen has less. Jalen, are you saying you have more or less of the same?
Ollie definitely has higher finishing than me. Definitely.
Alessio
Ollie higher for sure.
Ollie's higher.
and Mark. Finishing. Ollie has 13. Jalen, you have, out of 20, 2.
Okay, I'll take that.
2
I'll take
finishing
that.
out of 20.
Yeah.
Next one, a fun one from last week. Aggression. Jalen, you have 14 aggression out of 20. Is Ollie more, less, or the same amount of aggressive as you?
God, how do they gauge that? Because I mean, I'm not complaining.
Well, Alessio was like 14 aggression as well last week, I want to say. He was a very aggressive in Football
Yeah.
Manager as well.
probably yellow and red cards, Jalen. So
I've never been sent off though. That can't be right. I'm gonna go Ollie's lower though. I'm gonna just take a punt and say you're lower than me.
Ollie?
well, given I'm the pantomime villain, I'm going to say more.
Alessio?
Yeah, I wonder if they load up yellow and red cards as they do goals as well over the career. So I'm going to say if they do, then maybe Ollie's got a little bit more.
And Mark?
I'm going to go the same.
Okay. Jalen has 14 aggression. Ollie just has 5. You're relatively calm on the pitch, apparently.
Gentle giant, mate.
They must have been watching me recently.
Fifth one, strength. Jalen, you have 6 strength out of 20. Does Ollie have less, more, or the same?
God, I'm not happy with that 6 rating. Firstly, I would put Ollie higher than me though.
Jalen is pretty strong. Like he actually got fined. Andy was doing a bit of a talk. This is a bit of a Andy was doing a bit of a talk to all the boys, and Jalen's there with his top off. Like, you know how you can. I can't do it personally, but you can
Make him dance. Yep.
Apparently, Jalen was doing that, and Andy was like, "What the?" He got fined for that. But look, I will go purely just on my height, maybe stronger
So you're stronger, you're saying?
than 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Alessio?
I would say Ollie's stronger as well.
Mark?
Yep. Ollie higher.
Jalen has 6 strength, and Ollie has 4. Not very aggressive and not very strong either, apparently.
Thank you, Football Manager. Thank you.
But he's got a nickname of the fridge. Work that out.
Definitely don't buy me on Football Manager. Jeez.
Next one, passing. Ollie, you have 7 passing out of 20. Does Jalen have the same, more or less?
Probably more. He would make more passes in a game.
Okay. Jalen?
Yeah, maybe I attempt more. They're not as successful, but I'd go more as well. I'd go more.
Okay. Alessio?
I have seen Ollie dropping into the 10 in the last couple of games as well. So I would say he's got a bit of a passing range about him. I'm going to go Ollie's got more than Jalen.
I'll
Mark,
go the same.
finally.
I'll go the same.
Ollie has 7 passing. Jalen has 5 passing out of 20. Less than Ollie there. Second to last one. Another fun one from last week. Concentration. How much do you concentrate when you're out on the pitch? Jalen, 11 concentration, just more than average, basically. Is Ollie more, less, or the same amount of concentrated as you, do you think?
You must do it more on the pitch than in the change rooms, but yeah.
I'd go. God, that's a tough one. I'd say I'm more concentrated than Ollie. I have better concentration. I'm going higher,
Okay.
myself higher.
All right, Ollie.
I'd say that's probably a fair assessment, given I can get provoked by opposition players and fans, and it's my concentration every now and then. So, yeah, Jalen more.
Alessio?
I'll go Jalen more as well.
I'm just going to be different. I think Ollie is high.
All right. Concentration. Jalen has 11. Ollie, you have 4 concentration. You are less than Jalen on the very low end of, of that stat.
Yeah, these stats don't work.
Final one. Dribbling. Ollie, you have 6 out of 20 dribbling. Jalen, more, less, or the same, do you think?
Yeah, these days definitely Jalen more.
Jalen?
I want to back myself, but I think Football Manager is going to have Ollie more. No, I'll go with my heart. I'll back myself. Sorry, Ollie, but yeah, I'll back myself.
No, back yourself in, mate. It's not something I really do much.
Alessio?
I'll go Ollie more.
And
I'll go the
finally,
same.
Mark, for you.
I'll go the same.
For the final stat of the quiz, dribbling, Ollie has 6. Jalen, you have 4 dribbling out of 20.
Not having that. Not having that. Anyways. Who comes up with these stats, by the way? I need to know.
No clue,
So who
but they're
we
in the
have
game,
for
so they're clearly
Okay.
correct if they're in the game.
Yeah.
Those were all the stats. I don't know. Did you keep score? Because I didn't.
I think I got about 2. I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2,
But I
3,
think
maybe.
Jalen and Ollie would have got the chocolates there.
Everyone wins. Everyone wins. But yeah.
Football's the real winner.
Football's the winner. No, very good as always. Alessio, Mark, anything else to finish off on?
I just want to say thanks for joining us tonight, guys. It's been a big help as well getting teams on from across all leagues as well. And I'm sure, you guys have helped us with a lot of the viewers as well tonight. Got a massive game this Friday night, so everyone watching, make sure you come to your local games as well. Big derby as well. They're always important for both sides. Both sides fighting near the top of the table as well, so it's very important on that side of things too. But yeah, thanks for giving us some of your stories, giving us your time as well, and make sure to head out to some Seaford games if you can, if you're down that way. And they're a good team to watch. Very, very high flying, a lot of goals as well. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
All
Yeah,
the
thanks,
best for the
Evan.
rest of the season and this weekend.
Thank you,
boys.
guys. We appreciate you having us, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
No, thank you. Yeah, good luck for this Friday. And yeah, again, last time. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, boys. Cheers. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Very good chat with the both of them. We'll go on to the results from the past weekend, as we always do. Starting off in the State League 2, in the north, Pontian Eagles defeating Angle Vale 3-2. Port Adelaide losing 3-1 to Gawler Eagles. Northern Demons and Elizabeth Grove playing out a 0-0 draw. Mowbray Vista 7-0 over Barossa United, and Elizabeth Downs 5-1 over Salisbury Inter. Then in the south, Noarlunga defeating Vipers 3-2. Adelaide Union, Seaford we spoke about. Seaford winning 2-0 there. Western Strikers 2-1 over Adelaide Titans. Adelaide Hills Hawks 6-1 over Mount Barker United. And Garn United 1-0 against Plimpton Bulldogs. Mark, I'll start with you with wherever you want to go.
Well, let's start in the south because might as well. So Noarlunga and Vipers, huge win for Noarlunga there over the Vipers, who were obviously sitting very high, still are, still sitting in second, but Noarlunga closing that gap there to just 2 points. Hocking and Vista scoring goals for Noarlunga, Velanov and Mail scoring for Vipers, but that's the Vipers' first loss for the season as well. So huge result there for Noarlunga leading into the derby this week between Seaford and Noarlunga. Then we go Seaford, as Alessio alluded to earlier, Seaford coming off a massive 2-0 win over Adelaide Uni. As Alessio said, Uni seemed to be struggling at home. away form seems to be pretty decent, but their home form seems to be struggling. And with that win, it stretched Seaford past Adelaide Uni, now down in 7th on 8 points. Seaford currently sitting in 3rd on 12 points, so a huge result there for Seaford. Again, both teams coming into this weekend's clash in good form. Adelaide Titans suffering their first loss against probably a bit of an unexpected Western Strikers, to be honest. Western Strikers either seem to win or lose. They don't seem to do anything else. They haven't drawn a game. So 9 points, 3 wins. But Titans coming into the game undefeated at this stage, first loss of the season, still sitting top on 15 points. But there was obviously a kicking off point in the 20th minute with Peel on St. Louis and Clappers both getting sent off. So both teams down to 10 men from the 20-minute mark. Western Strikers obviously just managing to make making their send off count probably a little bit more in that regard and working better with 10 men. I'll let Alessio talk about the Hawks game. Jumping into Garn. Well, he would have probably beaten there, I would guess. Garn beating Plimpton 1-0. So Plimpton with only the 1 win so far, which was against Seaford, as we just found out. I just spoke to the Seaford guys. Garn now with 4 wins, sitting in 4th on 12 points. So the South ladder is looking quite interesting now, because that's with Titans losing, it has closed that gap now to 1 game between 1st and down to 4th, which is Garn. So and then Noarlunga on 11 points. So this game with Noarlunga and Seaford, quite an enticing challenge this week. And the other game that stands out is Titans are playing Vipers, 1st and 2nd as well in the South. I will let Alessio talk about the Adelaide Hills game and then the North if he wants.
I would have rephrased that. He can talk about the North and then the Hills and then Barker game if he wants. I would have replaced it the other way around.
That's fine. I think, as you said as well, Mark, though, the league now after the weekend has made it very interesting. Probably a couple of teams you wouldn't expect to be out of the finals race at the moment, and that being Western Strikers and Adelaide Uni. The rest of the table is probably shaping up how you would expect, with the bottom 3 being Hawks, Plimpton and Mount Barker. But there's a couple of teams fighting up there, which I'm sure most people didn't have in their finals, being Garn, Titans and Noarlunga. So it's good to see such a varied array of teams making it into the finals positions. Of course, I'll talk about the Hills Derby. Of course, it was an unfortunate result for my club and my team. But I think it's a point to celebrate and to applaud the achievements of the Hills Hawks as well. I mean, scoring 6 goals at home, I understand why it was such a big game for them, being a derby, but scoring 6 goals, being 5-0 up at halftime, they haven't had that in years, I'm sure. Nor has my club, but their club as well. So they were, very right to be celebrating it as hard as they did. All props to them as well. Daniel Hosking scoring a hat-trick, coming back to the Hawks this year as well, after spending some time in the CSL side. A couple of other youngsters getting on the score sheet as well. And, of course, coming on late into the game as well was Carl Markham, former Hawks player in the past and also played at NPL level. He's going to be an interesting one to keep your eyes on in the next couple of weeks, especially if this Hawks side are to kick on from this result as well. But, of course, it was very disappointing for Mount Barker, who have held their own in this fixture since the Hawks have been relegated to State League 2. But at the current stage, at the moment, they've got a few more things to work through. And for the Hawks, hopefully for them, this will kick them on to the next after they've been in most of their games by 1 goal or more. Seeing them score this many is very positive if you're a fan of that club. In the North, of course, we'll talk about some small fixtures that were quite a lot of goals between them. I'll talk about those first few. Elizabeth Downs on the Sunday, getting a 5-1 win. I talked to the coaches in those two and some players I knew as well. It was on the Sunday because they wanted to do a past players and Hall of Fame induction day, which I think they did a post about those players and officials who reached that milestone. But a massive win in front of all their fans as well. Apparently there was quite a crowd there as well, being a standalone game. And of course their amateur team is usually playing on a Sunday, so they were back to their normal time slot. They got quite a few fans out there. Very interesting though. Salisbury, of course, were top of the league before this and fighting with the top 3 at the moment. So to lose that game was major against Elizabeth Downs, who will now put themselves in the top 3 battle as well. Elsewhere, Modbury Vista under the new coaching leadership, which was actually missing Jason Trimboli this weekend, which is interesting. I'm not sure what the explanation was for that, but it seemed like it didn't matter. 7-0 win over Barossa, the only other team with Mount Barker without a victory this season so far. But yeah, back to their usual self, Mowbray Vista, and now they're back in that top 4 battle, and looks like they're scoring goals for fun at the moment. 5-1 the last week, 7-0 this week. So they're back to their firing form. Demons and Grove, probably a good result for Grove rather than Demons on that one, 0-0. Up at Port Pirie as well. And the weather would have been very bad there, I'm sure. Luckily, they have an artificial. But yeah, 0-0 draw there seems like a fair result if neither team could get one away. And then, of course, Pontian Eagles having it a little bit closer than they expected against Angle Vale. 3-2 victory puts them top of the league now, Pontian, with Salisbury Inter slipping up. And, of course, crowd favourite and podcast favourite, George Cassianis there with the third goal late in the game to seal it 5 minutes from time. So shout out to George, and I think he's leading the top scorers chart in the north there. So all props to him and Pontian.
Absolutely. Was that everything for State League 2? Are we happy?
Did you guys cover Port Adelaide?
That one I didn't. I think I'll leave that one with you.
You go.
I was just going to say we've got to give Port Adelaide a quick shout out. Not the day they wanted against Gawler Eagles. Gawler getting their second win of the season, which now puts them equal points with Port Adelaide, both sitting 7th and 8th. Both certainly would want to be sitting higher in the table with a 3-point gap between Angle Vale, Demons and Mowbray Vista all on 9 points. So there is a bit of it's only a game at the moment, but that could widen depending on fixtures this weekend. So the likes of Gawler and Port probably need to do something probably a little bit more at the moment in terms of getting results, considering they are two teams that have been obviously in the league a lot longer than your likes of your Angle Vale and your Elizabeth Downs, Salisbury Inters. So they've got a bit of work to do.
Perfect. That's all for State League 2. We'll go on to the round 8 of the Women's State League. Western Strikers 5-3 winners over Elizabeth Grove. Adelaide Jaguars 2-1 over the Mowbray Jets away there. Cove winning 2-0 in the Southern Derby. And then the big one, Adelaide City away at Carina Reserve winning 3-0. Mark, with that and Jaguar results against Mowbray Jets, promotion is starting to become a bit of a 3-horse race between Sturt City and Jags.
I was going to say it's becoming a 3-horse race, really. I mean, there's 6 points between Cove in 4th and Jags in 3rd. So it's a lot tighter than what we've seen in the past. It's normally been a 2-horse race, normally the top 2 miles ahead, but it's now getting to a really good standard in the fact that it's a 3-horse race. 3 teams, like I said, 3 Jaguars doing really well. City probably not as well as what they would have liked or hoped, to be honest, and probably going under the radar a little bit in the fact that we all probably predicted them to go quite easily. Well, not easily, but they wouldn't have struggled as much as what they have. Sturt have been the form side. They've been excellent. I think that's their first loss so far. So a bit of a surprise shock there in the fact that Adelaide City not only won, but a 3-0 is a pretty comprehensive
away too.
Victory. Yeah, exactly. A pretty comprehensive victory. I mean, it was 2-0 after an hour. So, and the last goal coming in the 93rd minute. But even at that stage, 64 minutes played, you've got your second goal. So it's overall, it's a relatively good, a fantastic win for Adelaide City. Cove, they get their win over South, which, like I said, that puts them at the top of what I like to call the next sort of table within a table.
Yeah,
they're sitting top. They're sitting top of that. Western Strikers just below them, Elizabeth Grove just below them, and Mowbray Jets just below them. And then, unfortunately for South Adelaide, there is a bit of a gap now opening between 7th and 8th. So a bit of work there to do for Benny, but he has got a very young squad. But it's a learning curve for them, so hopefully they can turn their season around. But I think probably for me, the biggest surprise, probably Mowbray Jets sitting so low. I think we all had them to sit relatively high this season. But they've tended to struggle a little bit this season. Again, they lost this weekend to Jags. So I think it's probably a little bit of a surprise that they're not doing as well as what we probably thought they would do.
Absolutely. Alessio, anything you want to touch on before we move on to State League 1?
No, I thought the one that was interesting as well to see in that was that Western Strikers 5-3 win. Noting, of course, they've been without Yuka Sasaki now for a number of weeks.
And she's
So I guess
was on the bench for Comets this past weekend as well, so
Yes.
she's moved back.
so it is confirmed. Yeah, but seeing them win that much, even without her, probably comes at a tough time for her. She probably left after not seeing the results she would have expected, and now they're getting them. But yeah, a good win for them in any case, and yeah, over a strong opposition in the Grove. So
Yeah, one of a few moves which we saw across the week, and we'll go into that when we go into the WMPL. But we'll go on to State League 1 Round 8 next. Salisbury United, 3-2 losses against Eastern United at Burton. Adelaide Atletico defeated 2-1 by Modbury Jet. South Adelaide 2-0 against Adelaide Olympic. Adelaide Cobras defeated at home against the Cove 2-1 there. Fulham 4-2 against Adelaide Croatia Raiders. And Adelaide Blue Eagles 2-0 winners over Cumberland United. Alessio, where do you want to go?
I'll start with the Salisbury Eastern United game. Both teams at the wrong end of the table, that they were desperate for a win. Unfortunately for the away side, Eastern, they finally got it after a number of weeks. Some great goals taken in this game, both by Ahmed and Koyangi. Yeah, it was obviously another tough day. Not great weather on Saturday, but the pitch looked like it played pretty true, and some fast-paced football was able to be played. Watching this back as well, it was very crazy, especially the ending, and especially with I'm not sure what the red card was to the player on the bench who had just been subbed off, but maybe we'll get some more information of that from our Salisbury reps that we know. But I thought this goal was great from Matthew Taylor, and he obviously was very happy with it as well with his celebration. And yeah, it looked like Salisbury might have a strong finish in this game, but it was some defensive, I'd say, mistakes from them who led to them conceding some late goals. But for Eastern, as you can see in their celebrations, each one with their first team coach there in Ben Masiska. I know he's the coach, and I think Gabriel Marcage is the manager. So I assume that's why they've celebrated with him at the current stage. I know Gabriel was there as well on the bench, but I'm not sure how Ben escaped without a booking after some of these goals. I think it's this goal where he's halfway in the box by the time they come and celebrate with him. And I know he wasn't one to pick up a booking. So obviously it's a very emotional win for them.
Very much on the pitch.
I don't know how. I don't know what these fourth officials are doing on the halfway line, if they ever seen that. But interesting ending as well. Unfortunate goal that probably won't be remembered as it should have. But a bicycle kick from Liam Bebbington here. I guess it's right on the touchline. Didn't leave the floor either. But
a very slow bicycle kick, might I say, but a bicycle kick nonetheless.
Yeah. Unfortunate for them. For Eastern, hopefully this gets them back on track and gets them some further points up the ladder. Maybe it's too early to say if they're looking to reach finals. Maybe just retain their position in the league. But in any case, they've got some 3 points on their way. Next one I'll talk about Fulham and Croatia Raiders. Another top of the table clash, which somehow pretty much all of us predicted Fulham would win. And again, some fantastic goals in this one. Luke Fusco, a former teammate of both Mark and I's, is continuing some fine form in the State League 1. I think he's almost got about 8 goals in the last 5 or 6 games, including the Cup.
He's in great
form.
one
there. That was a great goal there, and I think he scores one late again on the break here. And I think it was in between.
He had a chance for a hat trick, didn't he, Alessio?
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to include it as my pick of the week. I think it's unfair to him, and you don't really want to pick out someone's mistakes. But he somewhat got the assist for this one. Poor goalkeeping, I would say, there from Kalua, but the weather wouldn't have really helped him out. As he saw that one late. But Fusco had the opportunity to get a hat-trick after he scores this. I think it was in between the second and third goal he had another chance. But for them to be that far ahead in the game, I think it was, probably game over by that point. 25 minutes in, 3-0 up. And I think they score their fourth early into the second half, as you see here. But a small comeback there from Raiders. Once we get to this striking burn free kick, I think it's an unbelievable strike.
Yeah.
Got to be goal of the week for me. The ball doesn't even spin. It's that hard. And it just, sails into that top left corner. Actually gets the assist for this one, I guess, technically, for Jack Osterstock as well. Another good finish from a left footer. But for Raiders, it's another setback for them. Of course, they haven't been in the best of form since beating top of the table Cobras. They lost 2-0 to Pontian in the Cup. They lost 1-0 to Cumberland, beat low table Eastern United last week, and now again lost to another top team in Fulham. There's that free kick goal. Very good from Striking Burn. But they're slowly going a little bit further down the table and losing chase with that pack at the top. And that was just one in the middle of the top 6 battle that made a bit of a difference. The next one, I guess I'll go on to. I could do that Modbury Jets Adelaide Atletico one. Had my pick of the week with their number 10 for Modbury Jets and the 2 boots. Tough one to view if you're watching it back home on YouTube. But some decent goals here. I think this one is the first one from Akimoto. He scored a couple in the last couple of weeks as well. Still without Hamish McCabe, Modbury Jets. So getting it done without their star man is something you've got to be happy for as a coach. Very team performance. Ahead of things, this is Atletico's goal again. Another player who's finding the back of the net on a fair few occasions is Tataishi, State League 2 Player of the Year last year in the North. This was the free kick just late on in the game. Great flick on. I mean, if I was the cameraman or if I was the player scoring the goal, I'd be a bit disappointed he didn't catch my celebration after he goes to the assist. And then, late red card here to Masmokiatsu. Probably just saw it off the camera there. Maybe a punch, something he's done off ball there. You saw a very similar thing happen to JJ Ryder at Atletico a couple of weeks ago. And the referees are catching everything these days. So, not a lot to say about that one. And that's the end of that. I'll let Mark talk. Is there 2 more games, I think, to talk about?
There's a couple. I'll jump on.
Eagles.
Yeah. I'll jump into that Blue Eagles game because I was the only one that picked them to win this week. Yay me. Doesn't happen very often. Coming away with a 2-0 win over a Cumberland side that had been in some some relatively okay form. Goalkeeper not getting there and giving away the penalty. And Dante's not going to miss too many of those, so up he steps and lashes that one home. But Cumberland now sitting in 8th spot, Blue Eagles sitting in 9th spot. We wouldn't expect either of these teams to be probably that low. We've probably all picked them to be a little bit higher in the table. But Blue Eagles still got one more game left to play in hand after their lights out and injury at the start of the season. So great result for Blue Eagles. And I'd like to think that pitch might have had something to do with it as well, because Cumberland obviously playing normally on an artificial. So that'd be interesting to see. The other result, Adelaide Olympic losing to South Adelaide. South Adelaide only 2 wins this season so far. They're still sitting in 11th. Adelaide Olympic still mid-table 5th, 13 points, but a huge result for South Adelaide, to be honest. A really good, great delivery in there, and Abubakar finishing. I think that's his second in 2 weeks. He scored a couple of late, but South's just eventually getting the job done, and the second goal coming in the 90 plus minute here. It was actually quite an intelligent finish. Keepers come out, and Wheatra there, just a very well handled volley, to be honest. It's not easy to deal with that on the first time either. So very good result for South Adelaide there, which puts them 2 points clear of Salisbury at the bottom of the table, equal on 6 points with Eastern, and only 2 points now behind Blue Eagles. Cumberland sitting on 10th in 8th. Cobras, with their loss to the Cove, they've started to falter a little bit. Cobras now lost their last 4 games straight. They obviously started the season on fire, 4 wins. And I'd like to think, I don't want to think it, but I think since they've been on our show, I don't think they've won, actually. It would be around that time that they came on that they've started to go downhill a little bit. But so things not quite working there at Cobras at the moment. So they've dropped out of those finals contentions and drop down to 7th. So they've got to sort of try and regain their early season form. But Cove coming away with a win there, as you mentioned, Alessio, about Koichi's goal. Alton Dag, who, again, former teammate of ours, Alessio, Stir scoring and Tito Bontor scoring as well. But playing at the moment without a focal point of a JJ Rideout, they're still getting the results. And Cove now sitting comfortably in 3rd spot, and the top of that table there is quite an interesting one, because you've got a number of teams actually quite close on 17 points and sitting quite close. So I think it's a great thing for that league. Actually, it just shows you how tough it really is in that State League One.
Absolutely. We'll go on to the WMPL for round 7. Metro Stars 1-0 win against Flinders United. Football SA against Salisbury Inter. Inter coming out 5-1 winners on Friday night. And then the other Friday night game, West Adelaide in that first versus second match. West Adelaide defeating West Torrens Burkalla 3-0. Adelaide Comets defeated by Campbelltown City 3-2, a big result for Campbelltown there. And Modbury Vista, historically, their first ever win in the WMPL for them as a club. I suppose starting on that one, Mark, it was also Duncan Song returning to his own former club was his own undoing in that afternoon. But good to see a team like Vista, who have already so far clearly shown that they do have quality in that side, finally getting a first 3 points of the season.
Yeah, look, it's massive for them, because not only is it their first 3 points, it will give them the belief that they could continue on the path they're on and actually get more victories. Mondiri, they're scoring. She was a thorn in the side for Adelaide Uni, to be honest. She scored 2 goals, 31st and 61st minute. Nishitani scoring in the 90th and Williams scoring in the 92nd minute. But Mondiri there was probably, like I said, the real thorn in Adelaide Uni's side, and they probably couldn't quite cope with her. With what I saw of the game, she was always that willing runner, happy to take it on and really run at that back line. So huge win for them. But not only is it a huge win for them, again, their first ever win, but it actually is now given them a 4-point gap over Flinders at the bottom of the table. So Flinders really starting to get isolated down there, which is not great, because you obviously they need to do more. They want more. They'll need to get closer, so that when it gets to the end of the season, they're in close contact to whoever's sitting in 9th or 8th, because we all know that there's a playoff there. So
yeah,
the Flinders have got a bit of work to do, to close that gap. And like I said, massive result for Modbury Vista now with the first win, but also that 4-point gap now is looking rather scary, and just what a class finish that is from Nishitani. I'll go on to Campbelltown. They beat Comets. Probably, I think, a bit of a surprise result. I don't think any one of us picked Comets. I can't pick Campbelltown, to be honest. They weren't. They've sort of struggled at the start of the year. They've got now a couple of wins in their last 3 and a draw. So great result for them, because it does close that gap on Adelaide Uni to 1 point. They're only 3 points behind the Football SA squad. So massive result for the likes of Campbelltown. And Pritchard there getting the first goal. She seems to be a real star player for them at the moment, to be honest. So I think they need to keep her in fit condition, and I tell you what, she could really start to lift them higher up the table, to be honest. Like I said, real standout for Campbelltown. So that was a great result for them. The other game I'll quickly touch on, West Adelaide against Burkalla. It was 1v2. I was expecting some good things out of that game. In the end, West Adelaide just stamping their authority as they have done, 3-0. Sparrow, Yamada and Cosgrove all getting the goals. And that's just an absolute outstanding finish there from Sparrow to be able to catch that on the down, like as that's coming down, to keep it down low enough to then put it under the bar. It's It's a special skill, that one, that's for sure. So, West Adelaide just continuing on their merry way. 7 games played, 7 wins. It's looking scary, to be honest, for the rest of the table at this stage. Salisbury into their closest team to them, currently sitting 7 points behind.
Yeah.
So it's looking ominous for West Adelaide in the fact that I think they're well on their way to taking out another minor championship, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be hard to see teams catching them and beating them.
Yeah, you saw that last goal as well come from Piper Cosgrove, a player who didn't even know she'd signed for West Adelaide until the team sheet came out. Went to New South Wales at the start of this season, clearly hasn't gotten the minutes and has now come over to West Adelaide, come on for her debut and scored her first goal away from the NTC side as it was. I was at the double header on the Friday night at Service FM Stadium. The first match was between Flinders and Metro Stars. A very solid defensive performance, really, from Metro is what you could call it. Sarah Taylor, very, very good. She's been missing for a few weeks now through injury. Vicky Juma, a big one for Flinders United, was actually injured in a tackle from Sarah Taylor. Had to be carried off the pitch, as we've spoken about at length about, at least what we think of Vicky Juma as a player. For them to be missing her is a very big miss in the grand scheme of things now, especially with how the events of the weekend did end up panning out. Now they have that 4-point gap from the bottom. It's a huge loss for Flinders in multiple contexts, but of course under a new coach as well for this weekend. The other match, the second part of that doubleheader, was Football SA versus Salisbury Inter, and really it was the Cote Rojas show. She was unbelievable. She got a hat trick. She's so nimble still. She only gets better with age. It was quite phenomenal to see her performance on Friday night. Just outstanding. Football SA, they did have the moments. They did get the goal. But you can see some of these finishes from Cote still showing she has it. And like you said, Mark, it is a 7-point gap at the moment in terms of the league positioning, but sort of when it comes to finals, they are sort of into specialty. And for West Adelaide, unfortunately, not their specialty at the moment, and they'll hate that I brought that up too.
Yes, yeah, they will hate that you brought that up, but it is a different ball game altogether. Can I just say, Cote, she's a cheat code, honestly. She is an absolute cheat code. She is just that good. It's scary.
Yeah, and I think I was obviously next to Paul while he was commentating, and he brought up the point that Cote scored so many goals last year in a Flinders side which ended as they did, sort of being that person to drive them forward. Her and Victoria Rickards as a partnership was brilliant last year. But now she is in a side back at Salisbury Inter where they are that challenger for certain. Almost opens up her possibilities with the players around her too. It'll be, as you said, as the season goes on, a very interesting thing to look at. Alessio, anything you want to finish off on, or?
No, I think that there were some big results over the weekend that kind of set in stone where some teams are going to be this year. Obviously, those couple of upsets as well, but it's looking like a pretty competitive league. I think obviously the league title is probably, a lot of teams are going to find it hard to get past West Adelaide, but as Mark was saying, I think in the finals is where these teams are going to be really interesting. If they get them on a once-off, I think they can do some damage.
Yep.
Absolutely. We'll go on to the men's MPL for round out. Final one to look at. Campbelltown 2-1 losers against Croydon FC. Burkalla a 1-0 win against Adelaide City. Adelaide United defeating Sturt Lions 3-2 at Carigna Reserve. Playford versus Para Hills 8-1 again. FK Beograd 3-1 over Adelaide Comets, and West Adelaide 3-all against Metro Stars. Alessio, you were at Campbelltown and Croydon.
Yes, I'm happy that some of these videos did get played on the Goals Wrap after, because I think during the stream a lot of people didn't see many of these, but it all got started with a great goal from Ned Styles. outside the box. He messaged me this week saying, "I'm glad you called me Ned. I never go by Edward, and I was scared that when I scored my first goal for Croydon, someone was going to call me the wrong name."
I was going to say,
But
I've noticed that it's gone down as Edward this year instead of Ned. I'm pretty sure even in dribble it was Ned last year.
yeah, so his goal was followed up by an even better one by Passia John outside the box, just opened up his hips and absolutely rifled one in. It's fairly even after that until Josh Murray finally got on the score sheet, as he has been doing every week so far, with a nice little chip over Daniel Margush. I'm not sure if he did mean it. He was definitely trying to get something on target. But with the way he's going in front of goals at the moment, everything's just finding the back of the net. Fortunately, he did mention to me this week as well he'll be out with a groin strain, I think, or groin or quad injury for 2 or 3 weeks. So they'll be without him. But looking back on their squad list as well, on that game, a lot of comebacks with Mark Marino on the bench. Leggio was on the bench too. There's, I think, a couple more. Elsie started.
Second week back.
He's been back. I think there's someone else on the bench, but it was very, very strong, very experienced Campbelltown team, probably the best they've had all year. And I think on one of Daniel Mullen's interviews during the last couple of weeks, he said everyone's finally back from injuries now. I've got a lot of tough selections to make, and for Croydon as well, there was a couple of players returning as well to the lineup from the cup game as well, where they had that disappointment against Cobras. Elsewhere, I'll go to the
Sturt.
Yeah. Yep, I can do Sturt. Obviously, David's not here, but I'm sure he would love to do this one. A great game with a lot of early action at the start of the game as well. I think it was 10 minutes in, or maybe even 12, where there was 3 goals already, 2 of them from Joey Garuccio. But talking to some of the Sturt players, a couple of defensive lapses, unfortunately for them. Thanasi Lessie giving it away from a goal kick there. And this last one, I think, was just a good move with a great flick from the winger here in Battistella, and just opened things up.
Incredible team goal, that one.
Yeah, and just fortunately, even with the numbers back, Sturt, there was just one going across the back line there in Garuccio to get his second. But then not long after that, it was a set piece for Sturt, got them back in the game with, I think it was it Lessie? I think he did get it himself, so a bit of redemption for him too. Good header. They've been very good from set pieces recently, Sturt as well, so happy for him there. And then I think not a lot in the game until the last 15 minutes, where things started to heat up again. And this was a great finish from Rodriguez. Again, ball barely even spun in the air as he connected. Bit of a shin on that one as well, but he won't care. He was very, very happy with that, and they thought they were back in the game until this Crawford spectacular free kick technique-wise.
It's very intelligent too, I think, as well as the technique is just as important in that situation with that goal.
Yeah, and I wonder if David was in here, he probably could tell us a bit more. But if you look just before, he was getting some information from the sidelines or the bench or someone.
I did see
I'm
that.
not sure if it was someone telling him quietly, shoot, look at the keeper, or something. I don't know. But obviously took that on and scored a great goal there. Another one that was nominated for Goal of the Week. And they take that win on to next week as well. And hopefully we'll see Harry in the A-League squad this weekend as well. I was not quite sure if Kiddo's recovered, but I was surprised to see him in this game in the first place. I mean, he started against Melbourne City and played 60, 70 minutes in
very
that.
Good.
So
a very good hour or so he played too.
Yeah, that's that.
I was going to say,
we can do Beergrad and Comets maybe.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep.
If you've got that one there, I'll let you guys do the other games that you might have been on. But yeah, another great game for Beergrad at home. They're finally stringing some home performances together. Again, more players back. Trimboli was back. Konstantopoulos was back. And I think, they had a much stronger performance here. Baselli getting things underway early on. He's getting a few goals to his name this season as well. Comets, though, they got themselves back in it with a great goal here inside the box by, I think...
Dorsey.
Yeah, Jake Dorsey. Good left-footed finish goal. Again, probably if you're a Beergrad fan or a player, you would have thought, more of the same. Going to the break, not leading. It's going to be a difficult second half, but they pulled it back fairly quickly in that. Some difficult defending there, and Neon Kuru doesn't score many as his brother or cousin. He scored a great goal here, left-footed strike, put him back ahead, and then it was another turnover in the midfield a couple minutes later where they sealed things off Beograd, and another strong victory for them who haven't getting the results over the last couple of weeks. So to finally get back on the winners list at home in a night game, they're surely happy with that one as well. So that was the Beograd Comets game.
Mark, you can go to Berks and City.
Wow, yes, my second home out at Jack Smith Park. I think I'm there again this weekend. So there was there Friday night to watch Berks versus City. Very much a tussle through the middle of the park, really. Both sides very good defensively so far this season. Both teams very good attackingly this season. So it was just going to be an interesting battle just to see who would falter. And in the end, it turned out that Adelaide City faltered here with John Hall unable to claim and Blackwood rising higher and able to get it home. And that was effectively the goal that sealed it. But it was not the best of games to watch, to be honest. But like I said, when you've got two very good defensive units coming up against each other, yes, both have been very attacking. But when you come up, it's always it could always lead to a little bit more of a duller game. But the wind also played a big part. It was blowing a gale out there, favouring one team each half. And in the end, I think Bacala just made it a little bit more useful for them. Noah Smith went off at half time, which worried me. I was concerned he'd done an ACL, but he did end up walking off. So hopefully it was nothing serious and he's only missing a week or two. But their biggest issue for City is obviously the loss of Kilo at the back. They haven't been able to really solidify through the middle of there. So I know that they're very much wanting him back from injury, which should hopefully be in the next week or two for them. Burke's just continuing to get results. 3 wins in the last 5 now for Burke's, sitting equal top, or I'll say second, purely based on goal difference to Playford, which I'll let you talk about, Seb.
Well, to be honest, there's not much. It was an 8-1 result for Playford, but it wasn't that spectacular of a game. In fact, to be honest, if I'm talking about highlights, it came from Caleb Robinson, the Para Hills Knights goalkeeper. Yep. I think he's up for Save of the Week as well. He conceded all 8 goals. Let's be fair about that.
Yes.
But it could have been 13, 14 goals.
It could have been
not
12,
for some of the saves he made in the after. It was extraordinary, some of the
Yep.
stuff that he was doing in that second half.
Yeah, he was out. Yes, he conceded 8, but they were down to 10 men. Obviously, well, when I say obviously, they did get a sending off, which was to Fusco in the first half at about the first goal, 30-minute was it?
Just before half time.
Yeah, just before half time. So Para Hills got off to the great start. 1-0 up through Smith.
First half, in all fairness, Para Hills were putting up a very decent performance. It wasn't a very pretty game even in that first half. It was just very solid from Para Hills. They kept Playford out. They were frustrating them, in all honesty. And then it was the red card, which completely changed the game. They were 1-0 up, and then after the red card, conceded 2 before half-time, and then conceded the other 6 in the second half. It was just a complete capitulation in what I thought, again, after that first half showing, was a really good opportunity for Para Hills to try and get a point at least, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Seb. I was there watching as you know, and the first half, Para Hills were right in the competition, but again, that sending off changed the game, and and funny enough, I was on the far side when this goal went in, and the first thing I noticed was the body language of Para Hills. As soon as that second goal went in, just before halftime, their body language changed. And then what probably compounded that was Playford scoring literally 55 seconds into the second half. 52 seconds into the second half, and that was them done. Unfortunately, the body language was, let's just get out of here. And Playford really took them to the sword and really made them pay for that one challenge that Fusco made. And to be honest, watching it back, complete complete correct decision, very well spotted from the referee. I remember it said me and you were actually in the commentary box at the time, and neither of us had actually seen exactly what had happened.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, he spotted it, and yeah, so fair dues there to the referee. But unfortunately, we won't get to see some of the saves that the young goalkeeper made. But if you watch it back, you'll see some absolutely outstanding saves.
Yeah. And then, of course, obviously, to talk about play for the hat-trick from McGregor, a hat-trick from Mullen, goals from Tabarez. Again, it's genuinely insane that this has happened. The exact same fixture, just about a month off this time last year. The exact same. It's incredible. But, yeah, just a very strange afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, the only thing that's really changed is probably a couple of players and the kits, to be honest, I think. And that's pretty much it, really. So
I was going to say, speaking of the players, one of the stats I had is when they played each other in the second fixture of the season, for Para Hills, only 4 players from that squad were still with the team, and only 3 of those 4 players were actually in that matchday squad for this year's 8-1. So it just shows the turnover there.
The turnover they've had to have, yeah.
Just
and
finally,
I was just going to say, just quickly before we do that, so was the amount of shots as well, the scary stat we saw there.
38
was
shots, I think it said at the
shots, end. Yeah, 38 shots. That was the scary part.
Yeah.
So.
Just finally, West Adelaide and Metro Stars, a 3-3 draw between those two sides. West Adelaide at home seem to do pretty well at, I think they do like to call it the Fortress because it looks a bit like it, to be fair, a bit like a prison it looks like.
Yeah. Do you know,
a good result for them.
It reminds me of this. It reminds me of the stadium in Mean Machine, the movie, which was Vinnie Jones many years ago, which was the prison one because the massive brick wall behind it kind of reminds me of that. So, but yes. Anyway, I was going to say, said the goal from De Oliveira, absolutely outstanding free kick. I don't know if you've got the highlights there. But yeah, a great result when I say great result, great comeback result for Metro Stars. They were down 3-2 in the 91st minute to Ivanic, what West Adelaide would have thought would have been the winner, and in the end Rapuano scoring in the 96th minute to level things up. So very exciting game, goals throughout. Andre Carl scoring again for Metro Stars, who has been on fire this year. I think he's leading the goal charts at the moment.
Equal top, again, doing my stats for my games this weekend, he's equal top with Josh Murray in 9. And last year, who won top? I forgot who won top goal scorer last year. Help
it was
me.
Metro Stars striker.
Ren? Was it Ren last year?
No,
Owen Windsor. Sorry. Complete mind blank. He got 15 last year in a whole season, and we're equal top at 9 in 8 rounds. So definitely the rate of goal scoring has increased, especially for those out-and-out goal scorers. But yeah, 3-3 there. All right. Well, we're running a bit long tonight because David's not here to rush us along. But we'll try and get through these quickly. Our predictions. Alessio, how did we do last week?
Yeah, unfortunately, David's not here. Actually, had a very good week on the predictions. We got 17 points and 2 perfect scores as well, being the Pontian result and the Modbury Jets men result.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up 17 points as well, and Mark and Seb picked up 10 and 11 each. Makes some movement across the leaderboard as well. Seb now takes top spot with 186 points. I'm second with 100.
Maybe.
I'm second with 184. Mark is in third with 180. And David, not far behind, 172 now. So a bit of movement, but great week from David and I.
Yeah, the 1 week he's not here to defend himself.
To enjoy it.
To enjoy it.
To enjoy it.
All right, we'll go through as quickly as we can so we don't hit over 2 hours. First match in the State League 2 North, our predictions for Northern Demons versus Salisbury Inter. I've gone for a 3-1 Salisbury Inter win.
Yeah, and Salisbury Inter as well, I reckon.
Is that in Perry or is it Salisbury
Yes,
Inter's
at
ground?
Perry.
I'll go 1-1 draw.
I'll go 3-2 Salisbury Inter.
In the South, I have gone for the Southern Derby. Noarlunga versus Seaford. I've gone for a 3-2 Seaford Rangers win.
I'll go
I'm gonna
3-1 Seaford.
I'm going to go 4-3 Noarlunga.
In the WSL, very interesting one. Adelaide Jaguars versus Sturt Lions, first versus third. At Adelaide Jaguars, I've gone for 2-1 Sturt Lions at West Beach.
I'll go 3-2 Sturt. Is that what you said, Seb? 3-2?
I said 2-1.
I'll go 3-2 Sturt.
I'll go 3-1 Sturt.
In State League 1, Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus Adelaide Blue Eagles, 3-1 Croatia for me.
I'll go 2-1 Croatia.
You've both taken the scores I was going to go for. I'll go with 3-1 Raiders.
In the WMPL, of course, Female Football Week this week, Football SA versus West Adelaide. I've gone for a 4-2 West Adelaide win on the Saturday afternoon.
What'd you say you went with?
4-2 West Adelaide.
4-1 West Adelaide.
I'll go 3-0 West Adelaide.
And, I'll say last, but we've still got one more after this. West Torrensburg Calla versus Playford in the men's NPL, a big one. For these two, I've gone 2-1 Playford. Top of the table for you, Mark.
It is, yes.
For
it
Colour
is.
as well.
What do you think?
I'm going to go 2-0 Bacala.
I'm going to sit on the fence and go a 2-all draw.
And finally, I nearly forget not to rush to put these in. We will have cup fixtures before the next time we chat in the men's side of things. Para Hills versus Cobras, Cumberland versus Adelaide City. And the one we're going to predict, these are all being played on Tuesday the 12th, so the night before we come back next week, which is why I got Alessio's game confused earlier. The game we're going to predict, Atletico versus FK Beograd, being played, because I mentioned the other week they might not be able to play Atletico and they aren't, being played at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre on the Tuesday night. So a neutral venue for this game. I'm going to back the upset 3-2 after extra time for Adelaide Atletico and for them to be in the semi-finals of the Australia Cup preliminary round. The qualifying final.
3-1 FK, 90 minutes.
I'm going to go 2-0 FK Beograd. Full time, 90.
Perfect. All right, that is us pretty much done. Anything from the two of you before we finish off?
Just what games you guys on this weekend?
I have two. I'm at Para Hills and West Adelaide, which is unfortunately for me at the exact same time as Adelaide United versus Auckland in the A-League. No offence to Para Hills and West Adelaide. I will do my job diligently, but just
with one eye on the A-League.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed, but that's okay. And then that night, I've got Adelaide City versus Campbelltown City, which will also be a match of the round broadcast. So cameras, replays, sidelines, interviews, all that stuff on the Saturday night with me, Simon, and Johnny. 7 p.m. kickoff. We're live 15 minutes before for pre-game. For those wanting to tune in.
Brilliant. Alessio?
You and I swapped, Mark. I've got the now doubleheader at Comets. I've got the women's game. I forgot who they're versus in the women's. I'll just...
Metro.
Yep.
Yeah, Metro. And then in the men's, Comets versus Sturt Lions, which would be a good one as well. Yeah, that's all for me.
Then I'm on the Bacala Playford game on the Friday night, and then I'm on the Croydon game the next day, which is against FK Beograd.
Very exciting two matches for you there, Mark, with a top-of-the-table clash to start off on the Friday. Very much looking forward to that one.
Yes, it should be good, hopefully. Hopefully. So,
1-0 scoreline for you.
Lastly, if you want to get involved with us, please reach out to us. Jump on our socials. If you want to sponsor us or sponsor the show, please reach out to us and let us know. We will happily open discussions.
Absolutely. That's just us done for another week. Apologies for going long, but again, we didn't have David to rush us along like he normally does, so we could yap a bit. But I thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back next week with another guest. Until then, see you at the football, see you around, and yeah, have a good week.
See you later.
And we look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win!
We can't say that now. Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Penagaris, Chrissy Penagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Oh! Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide. As the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Joy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapawano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that seals that man. Let it go promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.